So there was this very, very wealthy guy who had not only a huge house, but also a beautiful, big, spacious cellar. And in this cellar was where he kept his wine. Now this wasn't like a little fridge or area where he kept his wine. This was an entire cellar of the most expensive, exquisite, rare wines that were literally collected from around the world over years and years. Probably one of the most expensive collections of wine in the world. And he was very proud of his collection of wine. Any guest that used to come in, and he of course as a wealthy person used to have these choshev guests that would come in and speak to him, and he would have them around the table. And of course the minhag was that he got his butler to go downstairs to the cellar and get some wine. And he would always know which wine to choose according to the guest that was there, the chashivas, how much should we spend, what should we bring him. One day, he had a very, very important guest, like not stam, someone that like he'd been waiting a long time to meet. Finally, he got a meeting. This guy came down to his house, limousines, bodyguards, a whole situation. And he was all excited to show off his wine collection. So in the middle of the meal, he calls over to the butler, says, "My dear butler, you've been serving me for many, many years. You know my wine collection." Of course, he's saying this in front of his very important guest. "I'd like you to go down to the cellar and please get me a very, very special bottle of wine. This is a bottle of wine that has been aging for years and years, a special Cabernet I got when I was in France 48 years ago. This is like wild." And he told him exactly where to find it. It's not stam. It's on the third row. At the end of the row, go to the end right by the wall, the bottom sort of like shelf. That's the wine that I need. So how long is it going to take for him to locate the wine that he very clearly showed him and explained to him where to get it? Take him a few minutes. Okay. So while he's waiting, he's telling his guest about his wine cellar and how important it is and how many wines he has there and how expensive and insurance. And he's waiting. Any moment the butler's going to come back and bring the beautiful bottle of wine. His guest is going to be impressed and it's going to be amazing. He's looking at his watch. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. He's like, the cellar's downstairs. What takes so long? It doesn't make any sense. But he doesn't want to show his agitation to his choshev guest. So he sort of just smiles. Yeah, maybe, I couldn't figure out with a light switch. Maybe there was a problem. What? After 25 minutes, he's like, okay, just maybe excuse me for a minute. I need to go downstairs. I need to maybe something happened, maybe a trip, maybe something's going on. I don't know. So the guest says, "Sure, no problem. Don't worry. I'm excited about the wine." So he goes down, he opens up the cellar door. And he's used to going down there. He goes down there all the time. But there's an unusual smell. Like when he opens the door, he smells wine. Now you can often smell wine when you go into a cellar of wine. That's not like a big deal, right? But now it's very, very strong, unusual. Like, that's interesting, okay. And he goes down the steps to the cellar. And as he's going down, slowly but surely, the smell of wine is getting stronger and stronger. And he's like, this is crazy. What's going on over here? I never experienced this one before. And when he gets down to the last step, in other words, he steps onto the floor of the cellar, he puts his foot down on the step, and all of a sudden, he feels like a puddle of what he thinks is water. But when he looks down, it's actually wine. There's wine all over the floor. He's like, Hashem Yerachim, what did this butler do? What did this butler do? And as he's getting closer, the place is quiet. It's a huge place, right? The place is quiet. He's walking, swishing through wine, and he sees smashed bottles in that corner, smashed bottles over there. I'm going to kill that butler. When I find him, I'm going to take him, I'm going to hold him by the neck, I'm going to strangle him to death. What has he done to my wine collection? There's wine all over the place. I'm just going crazy. I'm going to find him, I'm going to kill him, and he's looking this way, and it's like a maze in the cellar. It's a huge place, right? A maze. And he's going in that place, he can't find him, going in that place, and every place he goes, that expensive bottle, that one cost $10,000, this one is $15,000, that one is $24,000, smashed, smashed, smashed. He's mamish, you can see the smoke is coming out of his nostrils, right? And his ears, he's going crazy. And all of a sudden, Rabbi Isai, he spots the butler. There he is in the corner of the cellar. He's in the corner of the cellar. It's like a couch there. I don't know why they put a couch there, but they put a couch there. And there he is, this butler that he's ready to kill. He's sitting on the couch. His feet is up. And he sees his boss. He says, "Oh, thank you for coming down. You know, I've been working here for a while. I figured this is a perfect time for a raise. Maybe you could give me a raise." The boss says, "Are you crazy? What's the matter with you?" Rabbi saying, that's us. That's now. That's Elul. The whole year we're running around smashing bottles of wine. Smashing this expensive bottle of wine, smashing that bottle of wine. This bracha we didn't say b'kavona. This one we didn't wash negel vasa. Here we forgot about tzitzis. Maybe we forgot about tefillin. Maybe a kavona. We're smashing a bottle here. We're smashing a bottle there. Comes now Elul. Comes the time of Rosh Hashanah. And we come into Rosh Hashanah. What do? We come to Rosh Hashanah. I don't know about you, but come with that pile of all the books, the latest art scroll book, what they came out with. I can't wait till I've got my latest, whatever they sold in this farm stores. I got it all, I'm ready. And we say, God, we want a raise. Give me a raise. I want a better life. I want better parnasa. I want a shidduch. I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this. And the Rebbe says, hello, where have you been? Smashing my bottles of wine in the cellar the whole year, and all of a sudden now you come for a raise? What are you, crazy? That's what's going on. That's Elul. That's what we're doing. Think about it. I want to read you a Mordecai Rambam. When the Rambam talks about tshuva, Rambam in Hilchos Tshuva Perik Sheni, the Rambam says Medarkei HaTshuva. Now's the time of tshuva, right? So when else are we going to talk about this Rambam? The Rambam says, Midarkei tshuva. What's the derech? What's the pathway? How do we get to tshuva? Davening, crying, davening and talking to the Rebbeinu Shalom. He said, "Stalker if you can't about the Gavis give stalker." Distance yourself from the averas that you did. Okay, Rabbi say, ready for this? Here we go. 2 words in the Rambam that I don't understand. Umeshana shmoi. Change your name. Huh? The Rambam wants me to change my name. Why? We know, al pi Kabbalah, that our names are our pnimius. The names that your parents gave you when you were born wasn't just a name that they dreamt up or they heard about once and they liked. It was actually b'nevuah. Your name reveals your essence. See, if your name is your essence, what is the Rambam saying? Change your name? Why do you want me to change my name? What does that help to change my name? That's the Rabbi's Lashon Rambam, Rabbi say. I have to medaik in the Lashon. So what does the Rambam want for me to change my name? So the Rambam said a very, very important thing. The Rambam says, and let's explain this. Kloima. The Rambam had to explain what he meant. What does it mean, change my name? Kloima sha'ani acher. I am a different person. Ve'eni oisa ish oisa maisim. I'm not the same person that did those averas. I'm not the same person that did the things that I wasn't meant to be doing. I'm a different person. Not change your name physically, Yankee to Moishi. No, change your essence. Change who you are. Change your direction. Rabbi said, the Rambam tells us, by the way, in a different place, what are the steps of tshuva? How do you do tshuva? Lemaisa, right? It's Elul, Rosh Hashanah coming up in a couple of weeks. How do we do tshuva? What do we do? Zok the Rambam, 3 major steps. Step number 1, vidoy, confess, be a man. Men don't like to admit what they did wrong. We know that, Shada. You ever saw this? Okay, maybe you didn't, right? Because you're young, but married couples, right? When they're driving somewhere and they appear lost, and the wife turns to her husband and she says, maybe we should ask someone. And he's like, nah, I don't need to ask. I know my way, I'll figure it out, right? Men don't, I know. So man up and say, you did something wrong. That's number 1. That's called vitoy. Step number 2, charata. Regret it. It was a geschmack avera. It was geschmack. That's okay, it was geschmack. But it was terrible. I can't believe I did that. How did I do that to Rabbi Shlomo? I regret it. I thought I enjoyed it. I'm not going to lie. I actually enjoyed it. It was a geschmack, a piece of Lashon Hara. When I said it, everybody in the room was like, wow, unbelievable, how'd you know that? I felt so good about myself. I enjoyed it, but it was horrible. It was disgusting. I can't believe I did that. That's called charata. And then you've got kabbalah labah, which means to accept upon yourself for the future. Don't ever do it again. The Rambam says on step number 3 that you'll never do it again means that you make a commitment to never do this Aveira, and your commitment is so stark, it's so real, that the Rabbeinu Shalom himself comes to you and it's going to be made and testifies that you will never do this again. So there it is, Rabbi Sai. Think about it. You spoke Lashon Hara this year. You looked at something you shouldn't have looked at. You saw something, you said something, you heard something. I'll never do it again. Never in my life will I speak Lashon Hara. Never. Really? Anybody in this room can, with a straight face and an honest understanding, can get up and say, yes, I will never look at something that I shouldn't again. Never in my life. Never will I be mevatel Torah. I will always daven at the right times. I will always say brachos with kavanah. Never in my life will I do any averas again. Really? And that's what the Rambam wants from us? And that's the steps of tshuva? How do we do this? How does it work? What are we meant to be accomplishing? So Rebbeinu Shalom knows your minds. He understands what goes on inside you. He knows you because he created you. He knows you better than anybody else. He knows everything you saw. He knows everything you said. He knows everything you heard. He knows everything you did. You can't hide anything from the Rebbeinu Shalom. He knows. And he knows that you probably want to do it again also because it was geschmack. So what are you doing? You're saying, I'll never do it again? What does that mean? Rabbi say, why does the Rambam talk about bechira? You know this idea of bechira, right? Free will. I have free choice. I have free choice to do what I want. I could choose this or I could choose that. Where does the Rambam talk about it, right? The Rambam writes an incredible, right, Mishnah Torah. His mom is like an encyclopedia on the whole Torah. He writes an Akdama that if you learn my Mishnah Torah, you basically learn the entire Torah. So he basically wrote the entire Torah, the Rambam, right? Bechira is one of the most basic things that we have to know as a Jew. We have the right to choose. You can't even punish me if I don't have bechira. If I don't have free will, if I don't have free choice, you can't punish me. I didn't do anything wrong because I couldn't have chose otherwise. But if I have free will and I chose something wrong, then you could punish me because you could have chose good and couldn't have chose bad and you chose good, bad. So where does the Rambam expectedly, where do we think the Rambam would have talked about bechira? Right at the beginning. You saw that Torah when he talks about the creation of the world, creation of human beings, the Rabbeinu Shalom, and Imam and Bebun Shlema, all of these things. By the way, a Yid has bechira. We have the free will. You know what? The Rambam doesn't discuss it over there. You know where it is? Bechira is in Hilchos Tshuva. Perik Daled, Perik Hey. Bechira is in the middle of Hilchos Tshuva. What's it doing in Hilchos Tshuva? What's in Hilchos Tshuva telling us about bechira, that now you have the right to choose free will backwards and forwards? It's not my kasha. Rav Hutner and Pachad Yitzchak asked the kasha. Rav Hutner Zatzal asked, what is bechira, free will, doing in the Rambam in Hilchos Tshuva? And he answers as follows. You know, we hear so many times, can't go with the Elul Shmooze without mentioning it, otherwise maybe it wouldn't be Yaitza. And Iva Doidi V'Doidi Li. I'm sure you'll hear it many, many times. It means I am to Hashem, Hashem is to us, different explanations, not for now. And Iva Doidi V'Doidi Li says, the very first word is Ani. Recognize who you are. Recognize what your essence really is. What direction do you really want to go? You know, today, Elul, this month, the next few weeks, we have an amazing opportunity. And that opportunity is to decide who we really are, what we really want, what direction we're going, who our essence actually is. You know, we all know that we should be davening properly with kavanah, and tzitzis and tefillin and negel vasa and teres adayim and birchas hamazon. It goes on and on. We know and we want to. Every single one of us. If you ask every one of us in the room, there's no shaila. Every one of us, I want to daven with kavanah. I want to say every bracha with kavanah. I want to make sure I always wash the teres adayim before bread and always bench afterwards also with kavanah. I want to make sure I wear tzitzis. I want to make sure I wear tefillin. I want to make sure I do chesed and give tzedakah. I want to do all of the things. But what can I do? Sometimes I get distracted. I'm a human being, I fall. What do you want from me? Rabbi Shalom, you created me. You know that I'm a human being. You know that I have flaws. You know that sometimes it's just too hard for me. But that's what I really want. I want to be better. I want to daven with kavanah. I want to do the right thing. I don't want to look at things that I shouldn't. I don't want to speak lashon hara. I don't want to hear garbage. I don't want to speak garbage. I just want to do the right thing. That's who I want. That's me. That's my essence. That's who I really am. Rabbi say Elul is an opportunity to redefine who you actually are, who your essence is. And that's what it is. The real me wants to daven with kavanah. The real me wants to make every bracha with kavanah, wants to come on time for davening, doesn't want to speak lashon hara, doesn't want to look at the wrong thing. That's the real me. I have a yetzer hara and sometimes I give in. Okay, admit that, that's okay. But the real me wants to do good. The real me wants to do good. Ani l'doidi, the first word, ani. Who's ani? Right now, in these weeks, you have the opportunity to redefine what's the ani. Who am I? Who am I really? Peel off all the layers of the garbage and look on the inside, that beautiful, shining, amazing neshama tahirihi. That beautiful neshama that the Rabbeinu Shalom gave every single one of us, that shines from one end of the world to the other end of the world. We sometimes can't even see it because it might be a little bit blocked with a few things. But inside that blockage is the most incredible, powerful, kedusha, beautiful neshama. And we all have it, every single one of us. Now's the time to look at it and say, what does it really want? Where am I going? What direction? What's the real essence of me saying? And what's the real essence of me doing? Yes, I fall, I'm a human being. I have yetzer haras. All right, what can I do? I'm a human being. But ultimately, what I really want is to do the right thing. That's deep inside of us. And that, Rabbi say, is tshuva. The Rambam is telling us that when a person says, step number 3, after admitting, after feeling embarrassed and saying I shouldn't have done it, to make a commitment to never do it again ever, you know what that means? The Rambam is saying it means to say, Rabbeinu Shalom, I never want to do it again. I never want to speak lashon hara. I never want to look at the wrong thing. I want to do the right thing. That's me. That's my essence. Okay, I fall on my yetzer, I have a yetzer hara. But me, my essence, always wants to do the right thing. And that's the Rambam in the beginning. Mishane Shemoi, the Rambam saying tshuva means don't change your name physically, Yanki to Moishi, but change your essence. Kloima, says the Rambam, Shani acha ve'ene oisa isha oisa ma'aseh. I'm not the same person. Rabbi Shalom, I'm not that person that did all of those things a few weeks ago. I'm a new person. I'm a person that wants to do the right thing. Today, and for the next few weeks, we have this opportunity. Elul is the most beautiful, the Chedush HaRim tells us, the most beautiful matana in the world. I took someone to a tzaddik a couple of years ago, Chassidish Rebbe, and I took someone that was going through a hard time. Really, really, really hard time, not stam, really hard time. The Rebbe looked at him, and he meant in a good way, and he said it with a smile. He looked at him, he said, your face is a lit for she'elul. That's what he said. It's a lit for she'elul. He said, you've got to be b'simcha. He's like, how can I be? Look what I'm going through. You know, the Sfarim HaKadoshim tell us in Elul is scary. They say like even the fish in the sea are shaking. The fish in the sea are shaking. Somebody actually once said they bought Dafka before Elul. They bought an aquarium of fish. They wanted to see like when Rosh Chodesh Elul happens, is there going to be a difference with the fish? They kept on watching it the whole time. Nothing. Fish are not trembling. They didn't see anything. We have to realize Elul is a simcha. Elul is we're besimcha. Now the Rabbeinu Shalom gave us a month before we come to Yom Hadin, before we stand in this very Beis HaMedrash on the Yom Hadin, on the night of Rosh Hashanah, on the day of Rosh Hashanah, we're going to hear the shofar, which brings down the din from the bima right over there. We have a month before to start working on ourselves, to start realizing who we are and where we want to go. Redefine our essence. That's the opportunity of Elul. It's beautiful. It's great. It's simchadik. It's exciting. Look what we can do. And you guys, the beautiful neshamas that are sitting here in yeshiva, have been moisa nefesh to come to Eretz Yisrael, to Yerushalayim, to yeshiva, to steig, to grow. And you will. You'll see that you will. But it starts with one thing. It's a commitment to realize who your essence really is, what your essence wants, and to bring it out to the surface. That's Elul, Rabbi say. We should all be Zoicha, Be'ez Hashem, to have a beautiful Elul, a very fulfilling, successful Simcha Dike Elul, which will lead us Be'ez Hashem to a Yom Adin, to a time where we stand in judgment and the Rabban Shem will say, you smashed a few glasses of wine, a few bottles of wine, it's okay, but I see your essence, I see what you really want, I see the direction you're going. Rabban Shem will give us all Be'ez Hashem, B'schos zeh, Chasima, B'chasima Tova, and a Gid Gebenshio. Shkoyach.